Airline crew mocked a black CEO's hair as a joke. Minutes later, their airline collapsed. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. Hold still, sweetheart, I'm shaving it all. The lounge went silent. The buzz of the clipper sliced through air that suddenly felt heavy. Ariana Miles sat perfectly still at O'Hare's premium check-in counter. Two attendants held her arms, grinning for phones that were already recording. One whispered, "This'll go viral." Lauren, the lead attendant, smiled cruelly. "Corporate wants clean looks. Think of it as a makeover, honey." Sir. A single curl dropped onto Ariana's white blouse. Gasps, laughter, camera flashes. A woman whispered, "She should be grateful." But Ariana didn't flinch. Her reflection stared back, calm, defiant, unreadable. She had seen this scene before. At 22, a hotel manager once told her, "You people never fit the brand." She'd promised herself then power, when it came, would be silent. Lauren leaned close, perfume sharp with arrogance. "Relax, we're joking." Ariana's voice cut clean. "Are you done humiliating yourselves?" Laughter wavered. Jake, the male attendant, scoffed. "We're just keeping things lighthearted." "Lighthearted," she repeated softly. "You'll remember that word later." She turned slightly, meeting the nearest camera lens. Not angry, not broken, just terrifyingly calm. "Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country below. And if you believe in dignity and justice, hit like and subscribe. These stories spark change. And we're glad you're here. Now back to Ariana Miles." Lauren flicked off the clipper. "Relax, sweetheart. It's just hair." Ariana's gaze didn't waver. "No, it's evidence." The air shifted. Phones lowered. Even the laughter seemed afraid to echo. Jake muttered, "You can't be serious." Ariana brushed the fallen strand from her sleeve. Completely. For the first time, the attendants looked unsure. Lauren forced a laugh. "Oh, come on, don't make this a big thing." Ariana stood slowly, her posture quiet authority. "It already is." The room seemed smaller now, the silence louder. Passengers exchanged uneasy glances. Somewhere, a boarding call sounded distant, irrelevant. Ariana lifted her phone, thumb hovering over a single contact. "Carla," she whispered, "activate Protocol 9. Lauren smirked. "What's that? A complaint line?" Ariana slipped the phone into her pocket. Worse. She looked down at the hair on the floor, hers, yet not her loss, then back up at the crew who had turned cruelty into performance. A new kind of calm spread through her chest, the kind that comes before truth lands. And in that sterile corner of O'Hare International, the downfall of an entire airline quietly began. No one moved. The buzz from the clipper still hung in the air like static after lightning. Ariana brushed a curl from her shoulder, slow, deliberate, dangerous. Jake tried to recover. "Ma'am, you can't just sit there after you assaulted me?" she asked. "Finish that sentence." He froze. Lauren crossed her arms. It was a joke. Ariana's reply was steady. So was the Titanic. But they still went down screaming. Maya, the trainee, stood near the counter, phone trembling in her hand. "We should stop," Lauren snapped. "You think too much. Go clean the gate." But Maya didn't move. The red light on her phone was recording. Passengers began whispering. A mother said, "That's wrong." A businessman lifted his phone. The joke had turned into evidence. Lauren laughed louder, trying to drown the room. "Everyone's so sensitive. It's humor, not hate." Ariana turned her head slightly. "No, Lauren, it's cruelty pretending to be funny." She reached into her bag, pulling out a black phone. Its screen glowed faint blue. Lauren scoffed. "Calling customer service?" Ariana didn't answer. She dialed 3 digits and lifted the phone to her ear. "Protocol 9, said a calm voice on the other end. "Yes," Ariana replied. "O'Hare, immediate audit. Record everything." Lauren frowned. "Who are you calling?" But Ariana didn't reply. 2 security officers appeared by the lounge doors. Jake sighed in relief. "Finally, get her out." The older guard frowned. "What's the issue?" Lauren jumped in. "She's disruptive." Ariana's voice cut through. "They cut my hair. The proof's on the floor. Both guards looked down, saw the curls scattered like truth they couldn't ignore. Lauren forced another smile. She's exaggerating. Maya finally spoke, voice shaking but strong. No, she's not. I filmed everything, Jake hissed. Turn that off. I won't, Maya said. You crossed a line. The crowd shifted, phones lifted higher. The workplace had become a courtroom. Ariana exhaled, calm again. You're worried about cameras. You should be worried about consequences. She looked at a nearby passenger, a young black woman holding her boarding pass like armor. Their eyes met for one brief, human second. Then Ariana spoke, quiet but final. I came to board the airline I helped build. Lauren blinked. You helped what? Ariana's gaze didn't waver. This airline, the one that just mocked me. A hush fell. The guard stepped back. Maya stopped filming only long enough to whisper, "Oh my God." And as Ariana ended her call, 3 words hung in the air like thunder waiting to strike. They're listening now. The taller guard looked at the curls on the floor, uneasy. Ma'am, did they actually? Yes, Ariana said quietly. You're standing in the proof. Lauren tried to sound composed. She's twisting this. It was harmless. Ariana's tone sharpened. Nothing's harmless when dignity bleeds for entertainment. The crowd shifted. Phones up, whispers spreading. Someone clapped once enough to break the spell. Lauren barked. You don't get to twist this into something it's not. Ariana met her eyes. You already did when you touched me. Cameras clicked like gunfire. The internet was already halfway here. Maya stepped forward. She's telling the truth. I saw everything. Jake snapped. You're out of line. No, Maya said louder. You are, and the camera doesn't lie. Lauren's smirk faltered. Delete it. Maya's voice trembled but held. Then delete your career. The guard raised a hand. Everyone stop. Ariana didn't. You should, she said softly, because every word you add builds my case. She picked up the clipper, turned it over, then placed it on the counter. You'll want this, it's evidence too. Then she lifted her phone again. Carla, initiate disclosure. A voice replied through the speaker, calm and corporate. Yes, Miss Miles. Board is in session. We're monitoring live. Cross-checking personnel. Lauren blinked. Ms. What? Ariana met her gaze. Miles. Ariana Miles, founder and CEO of Aerolux Airlines. The silence cracked. Jake stammered, You're joking. Ariana smiled faintly. No, but I promise you'll wish I were. Gasps. Phones rose higher. The guard's eyes widened. Ma'am, I had no idea. You weren't supposed to, Ariana said. That's the test. Lauren's face drained of color. You tricked us. I tested you, Ariana replied, and you failed before the plane even left the ground. From her earpiece, Carla's voice returned. Audit complete. HR and FAA notified. Termination files drafted. Jake swallowed. You're ending us over this? Ariana's gaze didn't soften. You ended yourselves. She turned to Maya. You did the right thing. Maya's voice cracked. Someone had to. Lauren's desperation broke into anger. You'll regret this. You can't fire a whole team over a misunderstanding. Ariana's reply was cold lightning. I don't fire people. I ground fleets. The words hit the room like an order to fate. And in that instant, every smirk, every laugh from earlier evaporated, replaced by the sound of an empire beginning to fall. The airport intercom crackled overhead. Attention Aerolux personnel. Effective immediately, all Gate C staff report to internal compliance review. Operations on hold. Every monitor flickered. Flight numbers vanished, replaced by the silver Aerolux logo frozen, suspended like a warning. Lauren's voice cracked. What's happening? Ariana didn't look at her. She was already walking toward the counter, heels cutting the silence. Jake moved to block her. You can't just... I already did, she said. Passengers filmed everything. The check-in area had become a stage of consequence. Ariana turned to the guards. Escort them to Gate C. Corporate security's waiting. Lauren shook her head violently. You can't send me anywhere. I've worked here 10 years. Ariana stopped, voice even. Then you should have learned what respect looks like. Her phone buzzed. Yes, Carla? Social media's erupting, ma'am. The video's viral. Press already outside. Good, Ariana said. Truth doesn't need a statement. It speaks for itself. Carla hesitated. Do you want to freeze company assets? Now, Ariana replied. Lauren blinked, panic spreading. What do you mean, assets? Ariana turned. This airline runs on my equity. Every plane, every paycheck, every gate. The words landed like verdicts. Jake paled. You're shutting us down? No, Jake. You shut yourselves down the moment cruelty became company policy. The intercom chimed again. Corporate confirmation. All Aerolux flights suspended pending CEO directive. Gasps rippled through the room. A woman whispered, she grounded the airline. Lauren lunged forward. You can't! Think of the passengers. Ariana's tone sliced clean. I built this airline to take people higher. You made sure others stayed small. Her words hit harder than any shout. She turned to Maya. List everyone who tried to stop you from filming. Yes, ma'am, and keep the footage safe. It's history now. Ariana faced the crowd. To everyone watching, thank you for witnessing what silence often hides. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just signs the order. Oh, she put the phone back to her ear. Carla, confirm suspension. Confirmed. FA notified. Flights grounded. Lauren slumped into a chair, shaking. Jake stared at nothing. The crowd murmured. Phone still rolling. Ariana's voice softened one last time. Clean the floor before you leave. That hair isn't shame anymore, it's proof. Then she turned toward the terminal doors. Behind her, screens went black, engines stilled, and the empire she built went quiet. Not destroyed, just finally disciplined. Chicago glittered in the morning rain. Ariana's black Bentley rolled down Michigan Avenue like a verdict in motion. The city watched her through screens, phones, and whispers. News anchors said her name with awe and disbelief. Ariana Miles, founder and CEO of Aerolux, has grounded her own airline. Inside the car, Ariana sat silent, eyes steady on the skyline. Carla's voice came through the earpiece. Press calls nonstop. CNN, BBC, The Times, everyone wants you. Ariana sipped her coffee. They'll wait. Carla hesitated. The board's panicking. Stocks froze overnight. They want to meet. Ariana nodded. Schedule it, and remind them our reputation's the only thing still flying. The driver slowed before the glass tower downtown. Dozens of cameras lined the entrance. Reporters shouted questions. Miss Miles, was this revenge? Did you shut down Aerolux permanently? What message are you sending to your employees? Ariana stepped out, black coat sharp against the silver rain. I'm not sending a message, she said calmly. I'm correcting one. The flashbulbs flared like lightning as she entered the building. Inside, the boardroom felt tense, air thick with fear and coffee. Thomas, the CFO, started, Ariana, grounding all flights without notice, this could bankrupt us. She looked at him evenly. Bankruptcy isn't failure, it's cleansing. We rebuild what's clean. Another board member muttered, You're making us look weak. Ariana smiled faintly. No, I'm showing what strength looks like when it's moral. Carla passed her a tablet. Public sentiment's 80% positive. They're calling it the Miles Doctrine. Ariana's brow lifted. Doctrine? Yes. Silence is strategy, dignity is defense, it's trending everywhere. The room fell quiet. Outside, thunder rolled faintly over the lake. Ariana stood. I want a new ethics committee. Maya leads it. Maya? Thomas frowned. The trainee? Yes, Ariana said. She remembered what empathy looks like. Carla smiled slightly. You're rebuilding with truth, ma'am. Ariana replied, No, I'm rebuilding with witnesses. She walked to the window. The city lights reflected in the glass steel, rain, and the woman who refused to bend. Let the press talk, she said softly. Noise fades. Integrity echoes. The board sat speechless as she left the room, heels sharp against the marble. Outside, reporters still waited in the drizzle. Ariana paused on the steps, looked straight into a camera lens, and said only 3 words, grace over chaos. Then she stepped into her car, the storm following behind her like applause. The next morning, the boardroom was packed executives, lawyers, PR teams, all pretending composure. Screens glowed with headlines. Airline halted by its own CEO. The Miles Doctrine goes global. Ariana entered without a word. The room straightened as if gravity had changed. Carla followed with a stack of reports. Every department's under review, legals requesting guidance. Ariana sat at the head of the table. Good. We'll begin with accountability. Thomas cleared his throat. You've made your point, Ariana. The world's watching. Maybe it's time to ease up. Oh, she looked at him like he'd just confessed cowardice. When people show the world who they are, we don't ease up, we investigate. The projector flickered on. Photos appeared, training manuals, staff chat logs, jokes, slurs. The evidence was suffocating. Ariana's tone was calm but surgical. Culture doesn't collapse overnight. It rots slowly, from laughter that hides cruelty. A few faces fell. Someone whispered, "We didn't know." Ariana's reply, "You didn't want to." Carla passed her a tablet. FAA's cooperating. They're calling your response historic. Ariana nodded. They should call it overdue. Thomas tried again. What happens now? Everything pauses, Ariana said. We reset from the ground up. No PR spin, no damage control. Reform or resign. Murmurs. The word resign burned the air. Carla added softly, the press wants an official statement. Ariana shook her head. They'll get policy, not poetry. Let truth speak without decoration. From the corner, Maya entered quietly with new files. Ariana smiled. Maya, good timing. How's the ethics draft? Maya handed it over. Transparent hiring, cultural bias testing, grievance audits, every flight crew retrained. Thomas frowned. That'll take months. Ariana's answer was instant. Then months is what we'll spend. She stood, walking toward the window. The skyline gleamed cold beyond the glass. I built Aerolux to carry people above clouds, not above conscience. The room went silent again. Then Carla said softly, You're redefining what leadership looks like. Ariana turned. No, I'm reminding them what humanity does. She gathered her papers, voice steady. Carla, coordinate with Nova Air branding. We start anew under a name that's earned its wings. Thomas blinked. Nova Air? Yes, Ariana said. Because rebirth needs a different sky. She left the boardroom, silence trailing her like respect. Outside, reporters surged forward, but she didn't stop. The rain had stopped too, and for the first time since the incident, the air felt clean. 2 weeks later, the world had a new name to whisper Nova Air. Billboards shimmered with its slogan, where dignity flies first. The chaos was gone, replaced by a quiet kind of admiration. In the top-floor office overlooking the lake, Ariana studied a design board, new colors, new crew uniforms, clean, unapologetic. Carla entered, smiling. Everything's approved. New fleet paint, new contracts, new start. Ariana nodded. Good. But a new name means nothing if the same hearts run it. Carla paused. There's someone here to see you. Maya stepped in, nervous in her modest blazer. You asked for me, Miss Miles? Ariana smiled faintly. I did. Sit down. Maya hesitated. I didn't expect to still have a job. You didn't just keep your job, Ariana said. You earned a seat. Maya blinked. A seat where? Ariana handed her a folder stamped Ethics Division. Director of Crew Culture, she said. Full authority. No filters. Maya froze, disbelief flickering into awe. Ma'am, I'm 23. Ariana's eyes softened. So was I when I started being underestimated. They sat in silence for a beat, the hum of the city below like a low applause. Ariana leaned forward. Do you know why I didn't shout that day at the airport? Maya shook her head. Because anger entertains them, silence unsettles them, and dignity outlasts them. Maya nodded slowly. I think I understand now. No, Ariana said gently. You will. One day you'll face a room that doubts you, and you'll remember you don't need their volume to own your voice. Carla re-entered, holding a tablet. The first Nova Air press events in 2 hours. Do you want me to brief you? Ariana smiled. No, we'll speak truth unscripted. She turned to Maya. Join me on stage. Me? Maya asked, startled. Yes, you filmed the truth. Now you stand beside it. Maya's eyes glistened. I don't know what to say. Say what's real, Ariana replied. That's always enough. They rose together. Outside, clouds drifted over the lake like moving silver. The world was waiting, expectant, watching. Carla whispered, Are you ready? Ariana adjusted her blazer, eyes bright with quiet certainty. I was born ready. They just finally caught up. Okay. And as she walked toward the elevator, Maya beside her, the reflection in the glass didn't show a scandal or survivor. It showed legacy in motion. The global press hall pulsed with light and anticipation. cameras aligned like soldiers, screens displaying a single phrase, Nova Air, where dignity flies first. Ariana Miles stood behind the curtain, calm amid the storm she had rebuilt. Carla adjusted her mic. "You're trending again. Half the world's watching live." Ariana smiled slightly. "Good. Let them learn what rebuilding looks like." Maya stood beside her, clutching a note card. "Ma'am, are you sure you want me up there?" Ariana touched her shoulder. "You earned your place. Don't let fear speak louder than truth." The announcer's voice echoed. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO of Nova Air, Ariana Miles." Applause thundered as she stepped onto the stage, the air sharp with flash and expectation. Ariana looked across a sea of faces, journalists, employees, strangers searching for meaning. Her voice was low, clear, unhurried. "A few weeks ago, I sat in an airport chair while people laughed at me. They called it a joke, but sometimes cruelty hides behind laughter." The room quieted. Cameras zoomed closer. That day wasn't about hair. It was about humanity. We live in a world that tells some of us to be quiet, to shrink, to blend in, but I refuse to fit into silence. Maya watched from behind the podium, eyes glistening. Nova Air is more than an airline. It's a declaration that professionalism doesn't mean pretending, and respect isn't a privilege. It's policy. A murmur of approval rippled through the hall. "So today we launch not just a company, but a commitment. Every uniform, every flight, every crew trained to see people, not profiles." Applause built slowly, then erupted. Ariana let it fade before finishing softly, "Because justice doesn't need volume. It needs vision." She gestured for Maya to join her. The young woman stepped forward, trembling but smiling. "This is Maya," Ariana said. "She filmed truth when silence was safer. She represents the courage we'll fly with from now on." The audience rose to their feet. Carla whispered backstage, "That line, justice needs vision, it's everywhere already." Ariana smiled faintly. "Let it travel faster than the planes." As the lights dimmed and the applause swelled, Ariana glanced at the giant screen behind her, her face calm, resolute, reborn. In that moment, the world stopped seeing a victim. They saw a leader rewriting the sky. The broadcast spread like sunrise across phones, feeds, and headlines. Within hours, Ariana's face filled news tickers from New York to Nairobi. The world wasn't watching a scandal anymore. They were watching a standard. Her quote, "Dignity doesn't need permission, it needs protection," was on mugs, billboards, even classroom walls. Carla scrolled analytics beside her. 40 million views in 3 hours. Donations up. FAA praised the reform. Ariana barely looked away from the window. Views aren't victory. Policy is. The Nova Air logo gleamed on the high-rise beside them, silver wings unfurling like absolution. Reporters shouted from below, "Miss Miles, do you forgive them? Was this revenge? Is Nova Air about redemption or power?" Ariana stepped to the microphones. "It's about responsibility," she said simply. The crowd fell silent. Back inside, Maya lingered near the door, still overwhelmed. "They won't stop talking about you," she said. Ariana smiled. "Then let's give them something worth saying." Carla handed her an envelope. "Delivered by courier, from someone on flight 236. Ariana opened it. Inside a photo and a handwritten note. "I filmed what they did. When you stood up, so did we. You reminded us that calm can be louder than anger. Grace T. Passenger, 17B. Ariana stared at the photo, her face during the incident still, composed, unbroken. She placed it on her desk. "Frame it," she said softly. "Not as trauma, as testimony." Outside, the city pulsed with something new. Protesters marched, holding signs. "Justice doesn't scream. Justice stands still." Maya peered out the window. "They're chanting for you." Ariana shook her head. "Not for me, for what's possible." Carla turned from the glass. "You changed the conversation." "No," Ariana replied. "I just gave it direction." Down below, the chants grew into rhythm, thousands of voices rising through the streets. Ariana watched, silent, as it echoed up toward her window like a prayer wrapped in resolve. For a long moment, she didn't move. The woman who had once sat humiliated under fluorescent lights now stood as the symbol of poise that reshaped an industry. Peace filled the room like sunlight finally allowed in. Ariana whispered to herself, almost a vow, "They shaved my hair. I gave them reflection." And somewhere between that wound and that wisdom, she found her calm again. Morning light spilled across the skyline like a clean slate. Ariana sat alone in her glass-walled office, coffee untouched, the world finally quiet enough to think. On the wall hung a framed photo, her face from that airport day, calm amid chaos. Below it, a simple caption, "Grace under fire." Carla entered, tablet in hand. Markets just opened. Nova Air's valuation passed Aerolux's best record. Ariana only nodded. People invest in redemption because it makes them feel moral. Carla smiled. The board wants a new public message, something inspiring. Ember, inspiration is temporary, Ariana said. Accountability isn't. Schedule a noon broadcast. She walked to the window. Below, Chicago glittered, unaware that history had just been rewritten. Maya entered, holding a thick binder. The new HR frameworks, ready bias training, grievance audits, inclusivity metrics. Ariana turned. Good. We're not fixing people. We're fixing culture. Maya hesitated. I still remember the way you didn't yell that day. Ariana's reply was quiet. When they expect rage, composure becomes power. Carla checked her watch. 5 minutes until live. No script, Ariana said. Justice doesn't need rehearsal. They moved to the studio. No music, no slogan, just a deep blue backdrop with silver letters. Nova Air, where dignity flies first. The red light blinked. A few days ago, Ariana began, I was humiliated in public. They called it a joke. But I learned that sometimes humiliation is the universe introducing you to your purpose. This isn't about punishment. It's about prevention. About building a workplace where decency isn't optional. I didn't shut down Aerolux to destroy it. I did it to save what was worth saving: truth, respect, and the right to exist without apology. She paused, eyes steady. Let this be the last company where cruelty was ever mistaken for culture. The camera light dimmed. Silence filled the room like applause unspoken. Carla whispered, that speech will live forever. Ariana smiled faintly, then let it live with purpose. Outside, a breeze lifted the Nova Air banners. Planes gleamed on the tarmac silver, reborn, waiting. The woman once mocked for her hair now defined what it meant to hold one's head high. And for the first time in weeks, Ariana allowed herself to breathe, not as a CEO proving power, but as a woman reclaiming peace. Evening light burned gold across Chicago's skyline. Ariana's name was everywhere on magazines, banners, and news tickers calling her the woman who grounded prejudice. But tonight, she wasn't at a gala or in a meeting. She was driving south, alone. The Bentley slowed near a row of old brick buildings on the south side. One sign still stood proud, though faded. Evelyn Miles Youth Center. Ariana stepped out, heels clicking against cracked pavement, the air heavy with rain and memory. Inside, a few kids and mentors waited, faces lighting up when she entered. A boy ran to her. You're the lady from TV, the one who shut the bad airline down. Ariana laughed softly. I didn't shut it down, sweetheart. I rebuilt it. He grinned. Same thing, right? Maybe, she said, smiling. On one wall, a mural of her grandmother watched over the room. Below it, the quote she'd grown up hearing. Dignity is not what they give you, it's what you refuse to let them take. Igzo. Ariana traced the words with her fingers. The moment at O'Hare flashed through her mind, not as pain, but as proof. A young woman approached, clutching a resume. Miss Miles, I saw your speech. I'm studying aviation mechanics, but they say girls like me don't belong there. Ariana met her eyes. You belong anywhere your work earns you space. Don't let their limits become your mirrors. The girl nodded, tears glinting. Ariana walked to a small podium. No cameras, no headlines, just truth. I came here because success means nothing if those who look like me still need permission to dream. What happened at that airport wasn't random, it was reflection. And reflection only changes when we face it. Applause filled the tiny hall, raw and warm. She turned to Maya, who had followed quietly. We're building a scholarship fund for young women told they don't belong in the sky. Maya smiled. Already drafted, Mom. Ariana chuckled, eyes misting. You're learning too fast. From the best, Maya said. Thunder rolled faintly outside, but the night felt alive. The city lights beyond the windows gleamed like a runway. Ariana looked up at her grandmother's mural again, whispering, You are right, Mama Evelyn. Dignity flies higher. And in that small room on the south side, surrounded by the next generation, Ariana Miles, once humiliated, now unshakable, turned pain into legacy. A week later, dawn washed the skyline in gold. Chicago was quiet again, but Ariana's story wasn't. It was everywhere. In her penthouse office, she stood by the window, watching the city breathe. The framed photo still hung behind her, grace under fire. A reminder, not a wound. Carla entered with a folder. The first Nova Air flight's ready, fully crewed, new uniforms, new code of conduct. Ariana nodded. Make sure they know who they're flying for. They do, Carla said. People are calling this the rebirth of aviation. Ariana smiled faintly. Rebirth only matters if we rise different. She walked through the lobby, security falling silent as she passed. Cameras followed discreetly, but she didn't slow. Outside, a fleet of silver planes glistened in the morning Sunday, the Nova Air logo, two unfolding wings shimmered on each tail. Beneath it, the motto gleamed, where dignity flies first. Maya waited at the bottom of the steps in her new uniform. Everything's cleared, Miss Miles. Flight 1 is yours. Ariana took the manifest, glancing at the crew lined up, poised but humble. They look ready. They are, Maya said. You taught them. Ariana climbed the steps. Inside, every crew member stood at attention. She met each gaze with quiet authority. We don't just fly passengers, she said softly. We fly purpose. They nodded, no applause, just respect. The engines began to hum. Through the window, the city shimmered like forgiveness. Far across the field, the old Aerolux hangars sat empty, rusting reminders of what arrogance costs. Maya's voice came over the intercom, calm and sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Nova Air Flight 1. Today, we don't just take off, we rise above. The cabin applauded softly. As the plane began to move, Ariana looked out the window. The ground blurred. The sky opened wide. Her grandmother's voice echoed in memory. They'll test you. They'll doubt you. But if you keep your grace when they take your crown, that's when you truly reign. The aircraft lifted smoothly into the light. Clouds parted like curtains. Ariana closed her eyes. Breathing in the quiet, she'd earned the peace that power can't buy. When she opened them again, the horizon stretched endless, pure. She whispered to herself, barely above the hum of the engines. Justice doesn't scream, it soars. And with that, the woman once mocked for her hair finally touched the sky, not as a victim, but as the wind itself,